Yes, very good morning, all. I say good morning. Why are you looking so much tired at 11 a.m.? Because up till now you have attended physical classes. No mobiles allowed. If I see any mobile, then I will take it for 2 weeks. Okay? No mobiles, nothing. Only pen and paper. That is also not required. Only brain, eyes, ear. That's it. Yes, good morning, all of you. So, DBMS we are learning, and we are learning first unit, which is an introductory unit. So the things that we have already covered up till now, that is data, information, database, database management system, in line of difference between all these terminologies, and all these applications where people are using database purpose, which is very important. I have repeated it many times, so I'm not going to repeat this, but redundancy, inconsistency, difficulty in accessing the data, isolation, integrity problems, atomicity problem, concurrency, access, and security. These are the problems that may happen with the file system, but all the problem will get resolved if you use DBMS. And in the last session, we have learned what is instance and what is schema. Instance is nothing but a screenshot of the database at some particular time, and schema is nothing but the overall design of the database. So whenever you insert, update, and delete some data, your instance will get changed, but your schema doesn't change frequently. Independence, this also we have covered 3 levels of view: external level, conceptual level, and physical level, where your data is actually stored. And 2-tier and 3-tier architecture, we have seen. In 2-tier, only client application and data source. Advantages, disadvantages, already done. 3-tier, advantages, disadvantages, already done. And the last thing that we have done, no, not last, but prior to last, there are 2 types of language to play with the database. One is DDL, data definition language, where create table. I think who have attended the first lab, we have seen the create table command. Right? Second lab will do it tomorrow, but in one of the lab we will see create table, by which we are creating the table. So that is nothing but a data definition language. Manipulation language means DML, means where you do insert, update, and delete the database. You insert some records, you update some records, you delete some records, right? All these are covered in DML, manipulation. By the name itself, you can know. Definition means you are defining, you are creating. And manipulation means you are inserting something, updating something, or deleting something, right? Lastly, we have seen various models that people are using. First two, that is relational and ER, we are going to learn in this subject. Rest are out of scope. The relation is nothing but table. And majority of the database in the world are relational database, where your data is stored in columns and rows. Simple tables, all these table, customer table, account table, depositor table, all these tables means your data is stored in tabular format. In the lab also, we are going to do the same thing, right? Yes. So due to this, I cannot hear you louder. So last time, if you are remembering, I told that in some book there is written third category of language, which is DCL. data control language. Now, data control language basically people are using to emphasize some control on the database, control in terms of security. If you want to impose some security in your this chapter, the last unit is data security. In that, we'll see that there are various commands by which you can impose some security on the database. That comes under DCL, data control language. Means you are controlling the access of the database. Getting my point? And the last topic of this that we are starting with today is database users. This question also being asked many times in your exam. Explain database users, or in short question, any of the users can be asked, like explain Navy users, explain sophisticated users. So what are the categories of database users? Right. So first category is Navy user. Navy means new, or you can say untrained user. Like, let's see. These are unsophisticated users who interact with the system by invoking one of the application programs that have been written previously. For example, clerk of the university. Right. You can go to student section, you can go to account section. What they are doing? For example, when you go to account section, what is my pending fee? Or I want to pay my fee. What they are doing, they take the fee, make the entry, give the receipt to you. Got my point? When you go to student section, I want to update my address. What they do, they open the software, edit your address, save it. So what these are people are doing, these are using this application which is previously made. The software which are previous, these are some users like clerk, admin. When you go to, for example, for some reservation of the flight, you go to counter, I want to book my ticket from India to Tanzania, for example. Give me the option. So she will search it and give you the option of the flight. Getting my point? These all are Navy users. Sophisticated means they are new users. They just use what is there. The user interface for Navy users is in form interface. Generally, these are forms where they fill the forms, extract the data, something like this. May also simply read the reports generated from the database. If I ask the clerk, give me the attendance report of the student of last 2 days. So what they will do, they will fetch the attendance record from the software and they will give me, sir, these are the attendance record. What my point? So all these type of users are Navy user. Query, any doubt? Fine. You all are looking like are you getting what I'm explaining? Because feedback is equally important. I don't want to be a dispenser of information, one-sided. Always give me some response so I can know, yes, the students are learning. Right? Thank you. Application programmers. These are nothing but software developers who develop some software, and along with the software, they develop the database. Right? So computer professionals, these are professionals who write the application programs. It can choose from many tools to develop the user interface, and many tools are available to develop the software. So a normal software programmer who develop the software and create the database. Very simple. Sophisticated users. This is the third category. Now, who are the sophisticated users? Interact with the system without writing the program. Sophisticated user will not write the software or do not make the software. Then what it will do? Form their request either using database query language or by using tools such data analysis software. So their role is to just maintain the database. They just write the query, extract the database, give to the user. They don't have any role to play for the front end. They always play with the back end, with the database, right? Analysts who submit the query to explore data in the database fall in the generally data analyst. Many companies will hire such data analysts who keep analyzing the data. The data analyst falls in this category. And the last one is specialized user. Specialized user are sophisticated user, but who writes the specialized database application who do not fit in traditional data processing framework. So specialized user will not deal with such normal software like reservation system or hotel booking system or something this or normal software. Then what? Among these applications are computer-aided design system, CAD system, knowledge expert system, store data with the complex data type like graphics, data, audio, video, environment modeling, like space application. Right? So satellite will keep sending the images or videos. Some specialized applications to deal with. These are specialized users who do not deal with some normal database. So let me repeat, Navy users, clerk of the university, application programmer or normal software developer, sophisticated user who don't deal with the front end but only deal with the back end like database analyst or data analyst, and sophisticated user who deal with some specialized application or specialized software. And the last category is DBA. 3 marks questions many times in the exam. Explain role of DBA or what is DBA and what are their tasks. Some questions like that will be asked. Database administrator. See, many companies, even here our Marwari, when you are going to ICT department for repairing of laptop or registering, there is a data center. If you have seen there, the board is there. Data center. Second floor, when you are going for your email ID or laptop registration or resetting password, there is a data center. So the big companies, giant companies, you consider Flipkart or Amazon, how much giant database the Amazon is. Giant database, millions and millions of transactions happening per day. All the transactions they need to store. So a database administrator is a good job. Many people are finding these as a career. Like who do not like software development or all, then this is a nice option for the student who want to build a career in the data and data analytics part, right? So what are the role of DBA? Have central control of both the data and programs that access this data. It's a central boss of everything who controls the entire database. Now what are the roles? First role is schema definition. Now I'll ask you, what is schema? I told you this. Yes, what is schema? Overall structure of the database. Consider Marwari University will open a new department. For example, PRO, Public Relationship Office. And it needs to be integrated with our software. So DBA will decide what type of tables, which type of data needs to be stored, what is the structure of the table, everything it will be decided by DBA. Storage structure and access method, how the data is going to be stored, what is the structure of the database, what are the data types, what are the values that will be stored, and access method definition, how the data is going to access, which rights should be given to whom. Third, schema and physical organization modification. The data needs to be stored in which server? Many organizations are having many servers. Each server is having multiple disks. How physically data is going to be stored? That is also a role of DBA. Granting and authorizing data access. As I am a HOD of IT, I cannot see student detail of mechanical engineering. You are a student, you cannot view the details of other student. Why? Because some access is given to you all. Got my point? So, access, who should access what? This is access rights. Rights should be given. So, the authorization information is kept in a special system structure, the database system console, wherever some attempt to access the data. That we'll see. All this access related information is stored separately. Who can access what? So whenever you try to access something, the database will consult that part, whether this user is legitimate or having rights. If you are having rights, then you can access. If you don't have right, you cannot access. Some routine task of DBA. Routine maintenance. Periodically backing up the database. See, backup is most important, right? What if this laptop will get crashed right now? The data will be gone. So what I am doing, I am storing all my data on Drive, Google Drive. That means backing up the data. So this is a small laptop right now. For example, Marwari universities since 2009. How much student data is there? What the data is gone? Right. Difficult? Simple. You all are using mobile. What your mobile got crashed suddenly? You will cry for a day, right? Oh, all the Instagram photos are deleted. All my selfies are deleted. So backup, either onto tapes or some remote server, some tape drives or some cloud or remote server, to prevent the loss of data in case of disaster such as flooding. There is a severe rain, there is a flooding, some fire, all these natural disasters. To save from that, data backup. 2. Ensuring that enough free disk space is available for normal operation and upgrading the disk space is required. Whether enough space is available or not for normal operation. If not, then DBA need to upgrade the disk space. 1 TB, 2 TB, 100 TB, 200 TB. Keep updating or upgrading the disk space. Monitoring the job running on the database and ensuring that performance is not degraded by the very expensive task submitted by some user. Many users are there. Consider some user submit some task. Task means I want to see all the student record since beginning. So it is some difficult task, right? The server needs to access or fetch all the details, huge data, and then it will be displayed to you. So the server will be busy. And where the server will be doing this task, other tasks will be on hold, on stop, or it will become slow. So it is the again task of the DBA to control this. It can ask to the user, please do this task in the night, where other students are not accessing this. Night, the traffic is less. So all these routine tasks is done by database administrator. Got it? That's it. Unit number 1 is over. Any doubt, any query? Let's ask the online student also. Yes, online students, any doubt, any query? Anyone? If it is clear, then please write clear so I can have feedback. 19 students are online. Great. Is the students are in hostel or respective country? Clear, clear, clear. Sir, can you tell me about ER model? Now, the next chapter is ER model only. Our next chapter is ER model. Okay, so should we start our next chapter? Yes. Data administrator and same. Same. Synonyms. So our second unit is entity relationship model. So now we are entering into the designing of the database. Your entire syllabus is divided into the two parts. One is database design, one is transaction. You need to perform the transaction of the database. First portion is designing the database. And the first step or first model to design the database is ER model. Full form is entity relationship model. Right? So before starting this, I want to ask everyone who are online or who are here, consider you all are a civil engineer. You all are civil engineer, not computer or IT. And I'll give you a task to construct the home. I am a client. I come to you. I want to build my home. I don't know anything. This is my land. 1 acre, for example, 1 acre is my land. I want to construct the home. I want best home in the city. This is my requirement. What will you do? How will you start? Think, before answer, think for 2 minutes. I don't want think the entire, because I'll ask series of questions. You are a civil engineer. I am a client. I want to build best home. I'm having land. And I'll come to you. I want to build best home in the city. Think. I will be start by planning. You need to design. Okay. What will you design? How will you design? Very good. You first. Any other answer? Asking was vision and budget. Okay. I'll take a survey around the city to access current best home so I can build a better one. Very good. Design the house based on the land available and the budget provided. Make requirement and budgeting. Okay, budget. Let me tell you, budget is not the problem. Let us put budget aside. Majority of your answers are right. Right. So now, out of your answer, 2 points are common. One, requirement of the user. What you will do, you can ask the client, sir, I know best. I know you want to build the best, but can I know your requirement? Then client will ask, what requirement? What requirement? Client is like me. Hadoos. So, what requirement? Sir, how many person you are going to live? Right. We are two. My husband and wife and my two kids. Okay, sir, 4. Sir, do you want any swimming pool in the house? Yes. Sir, do you want gym in the house? No, I don't want gym. Sir, do you want any prayer room in the house? Yes, prayer room. Sir, kitchen, you want modular kitchen or normal kitchen? Right. So all what you are doing, you will write it. You will write it. All the requirements. Sir, you want only ground floor or you want multi-floors? No, maximum I want 1 floor or not more than 1 because I cannot climb 2 floors. Okay. You will idea. Right. Sir, what is the age of your kid? It will be 18 years. Then you will realize 18 years he is going to marry soon. Right. Sir, do you expect some guests frequently? Yes. The guest can come. You can have idea. I need to guest room. Got my thing. So first is requirement from the client. Requirement from the client. Because client are non-technical person. Client are non-technical person. He don't know anything. It's you to ask the right question. Now second, once the client will give requirement, will you go to the land and start construction? You directly don't go to the land. What you will do? You will make the sketch, diagram. And you will show to the client, sir, this is our design. Either you make a model, 3D model, or just on the paper 2D model. Sir, this is what I have thought. Then he will also give you suggestions. No. Let's have gym also. A small portion of gym. This prayer room is small. Make it little bit bigger. Right? So again, what will you do according to that? You will change it. And again, you will show to your client, sir, this is how our home looks. Exactly. Construct this. And you start constructing. What if you directly start constructing? Right. Same with the database. Then now let's use same analogy in terms of database. Client will come to you. I'm having grocery supermarket. Please make software for me. Will you directly start making software? No. Same process you will do. Sir, what are the facility you want? Only stock management or billing, online billing, payroll also, ordering also, billing also. How you can accept online payment or not, something like this. Based on that, you make some design. And then if you can again go to your client, he will give the feedback. Again you go to the client. Once the design is finalized, then you create the actual database. Got my point? So this is the importance of ER model. ER model is nothing but graphical representation of your database. It is same like flow chart of your C language. Right? In the programming, it always advisable to write algorithm and the flow chart. So you can see how your program, where the control is moving, where the data is moving, this, that, and then it is avoidable to start the program. But nowadays students are not doing all this. They directly start has a include stdio.h, coni.h, void main, this. No, this is not the right method. Always see, I'm not telling about small program of 8 to 10 lines, like find the number, whether the number is odd or even, 10-line programs. I'm asking you about big programs, 100, 200, 500 lines. In such program, always do the exercise on the pen and paper. How many variables I will need, what are the data types, should I use array, should I use pointers, structure, or should I use file handling, all these analysis, and then you start. Because once you reach in middle, then you realize, oh, it's the mistake. Then you need to delete all these things. Same, the civil engineer realize, oh, I constructed prayer room small, but my client wanted big. Then you need to destruct the house. It will not happen. Right? So first, in the design, you design using ER model, and then once your ER model is okay, then you go for next model, which is relational model. In designing, again, relational model is design the tables on the paper, and then you go for actual database creation. This is so all the big companies. So I am asking you about big software, not the small software. Big software, people are following this practice. I hope I am clear what is the importance of ER model. So ER model will understand what are the design constraints and how the database can be designed. Right, let's see. So, overview of the design process. So this I already explained. It involving design of the database schema, design of the program that access and update the data, and design of the security scheme to control and access of the data. So it includes three parts. First, database schema design, structure. Second, various programs to access the data. Third, design of the security scheme. Right, so three parts are involved here. Second line is very important. The needs of the users play central role in design process. Always you need to satisfy needs of your client. Obviously. If your client asking you to design X and when you are designing Y, the client will kick you out. Go out, get the hell out of here. Right. The needs of the user will play central role over here. Direct design process is difficult for real world applications since they are often highly complex. Direct design, as I will give you several examples I have given, that if you start directly design, it is very difficult because it involves a higher, or you can say complex problems. So direct design is not advisable. Now what is ER model? So two things are involved: entity relationship model. So today we'll see what is entity, what is relationship. Then we'll see what is entity relationship together. So enterprise schema that represent the overall design structure of the database. This is the definition of ER model. Enterprise schema. Again, I'm telling you, we are talking about big software, big applications, not a smaller one. That represents overall logical structure of the database. It is a logical structure, not physical. very useful in mapping and meaning of the interaction of the real world enterprise onto conceptual schema. Now what this try to do, our old example, civil engineering, your user will tell you the requirement. I want these, I want these, I want these, I want it. Up to you, is it up to architect to convert this design, this specification onto your civil engineering planning or modeling. Right. Same. A software developer client, software development client will give you, I want this facility, I want online billing, I want reservation, I want this, I want that, I want client data, I want to fetch this detail, I want these reports, I want attendance online. Now it is up to you to convert all these requirements into these technical specifications. What my God, how many tables I want, what are the fields of the table, what type of data am I going to store, how these tables are related with each other. All these things that you need to design first. That's why I told you database design is very critical, and if you are a very good designer, then there are n number of jobs for you, definitely. So 3 things we are going to learn: entity set, relationship set, and attribute. So first we'll see entity set. Before learning entity set, we'll see entity. The definition of entity is, an entity is a thing or the object in the real world. It's a thing or object in the real world that is distinguishable from other objects. Anything which is different from other is an entity. I mean, the classroom, start naming the entity. How many entities are there in the classroom? Fan, entity, laptop, projector, bench, chair, podium, screen, switch, speakers, stool, dais, window, door. Each thing which is different than others. Entity. For example, a person in the, we forgot it. Entity. Now we may be same entity, part of same entity, or different entity also. If I tell entity student, then you are member, I am not. If I tell teacher, then I am member, you are not. If I tell human, we all are humans. Are we, right? Are we humans? So, these are entities. For example, each person in the university is the entity. Now, how can you differentiate between entity? How the fan is different than projector? From which you differentiate between that? Based on their attributes. Based on their attribute. How I am different than you? Because as a teacher, I am having employee code. As a student, you are having GR number. I don't have GR number. I don't have enrollment number, but I am having employee code. How you differentiate between entity? Projector is having, for example, weight, depth, sharpness, then frequency, all these attributes, right? Color. Few attributes are common, few attributes are not. Projector is different than fan. Why? Fan is having wings, then power rating, then RPM, revolution per minute. So each entity is having different attributes. Based on that attribute, you can differentiate between entity. But for instance, every person is have person ID. So each entity is having something unique which uniquely identifies that entity. Something unique. For example, your roll number. Everyone is having different roll number. That is, this is different than him. Because he is having different roll number, he is having different roll number or GR number. Now, the entity can be concrete or abstract. What is concrete? Where you can touch. All the entity which I have mentioned, you can touch it. Physically, you can feel it. But there are entities that abstract, you cannot touch. For example, course or subject. If you want to be the database, subject also, subject code, subject name. Can you touch the subject? So entity can be concrete, entity can be abstract. Offering or a flight reservation. Can you touch reservation? No. No. So concrete entity. And what is entity? Set? Set of similar kind of entities, entity set. For example, students in the class, set. Pens in the class, set. Benches in the class. But it should be similar. It should be similar. Chairs in the class. Right. A fan and a projector cannot be in the same entity set because chair is different, projector is different. What's the point? So entity set, is a set of entities the same type and share same properties or attributes, whose attributes are same and properties are same. The entity set student might represent set of all students in the university. Entity represented by attribute, and each attribute is having value. For example, projector is an entity. Attribute, for example, color. And what is value? Black. Bench, entity. Attribute, height and width. Value, height is 2 feet, width is 7 feet. Entity, attribute, value. Person, employee ID, 1696. Person, entity, employee ID, attribute, 1696 is the clear. We'll keep up to this. Any doubt, any query? Rest, relationship type, attribute, types of attribute, we'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow is my lecture, right? Okay, online student. Any doubt? Okay. Okay, then see you. We are having lecture tomorrow. Thank you.